Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. I'm driving over to the creamery to my sister and brother-in-law's farmstead. So it's about 3 miles east of our dairy farm. The farmyard that it's in, I actually used to rent the house here. I lived there for 4 or 5 years. And then my sister and brother-in-law were able to purchase it shortly after I moved out. So this farmyard, it used to be an old dairy farm here actually. The original house is still there. My sister and brother-in-law have kind of been upgrading it a little bit. Yeah, fixing some things. The original house is still here. And then on the right there, that was the old dairy barn. And there used to be another barn to the east of it, or to the right of it, if you're watching here. That they had cows in also, and they had access to pasture out here. I think they quit milking here in the 90s, early 90s, but I'm not exactly sure on that. So this building on the left here, this is the creamery. So this used to be an old pole building. The original structure we continued to use, but we poured concrete in there, put plumbing, electricity in there, and we had a specific layout. I'll show you once we get in there. So I wasn't able to get over here this week when they were making cheese or gelato. They are working in there this morning, but it's Friday morning and this afternoon. So there's a little cafe in there also with a commercial kitchen. This afternoon they're open, and they're also open tomorrow. And usually they've been open on Saturdays, but they're open 2 days this week for Mother's Day. So I'm sure they'll be in there working, but I'm not going to bother them too much because they're prepping things for this afternoon. But I thought this probably works out good anyway, so I'll kind of show you guys the layout of the building, show you the processing area, the aging area for the cheese, some of those things, and then when it works out at a later time, I'll come and video some of the cheese making and gelato making. So I'm out front of the creamery now. I'm here with my sister.
Hi.
So this is my sister Maartje. We're front doors here. We're gonna go in quick. She's just gonna give a little bit of a brief explanation, then I'll take you guys through the processing area because they're busy prepping for this afternoon.
So it's Friday morning. Pete already mentioned that, I think. But we're open today from 3 to 8 p.m. So you're kind of going to get a feel of what it's like morning before opening. So we are open like a few times a month, kind of here and there whenever we can fit it into our schedule. But it's Mother's Day weekend, so it's going to be a Mother's Day special event. So my mom is over there. I don't know if you've met her yet, Connie. She's making the flowers, the bouquets. Of course, tulips, because we're Dutch. And then this is my husband's cousin, Erin. She's getting some menus together for the day. But anyways, this is our bar, so I'll just start up here. We have a gelato case here. It holds 8 flavors, so when people come, they can try our farm fresh gelato. You can already see we dug into the cookies and cream in the back, but yeah. And then we serve wine and beer, and then just some refreshments, nothing too crazy. We're not a full-out restaurant, so we're still learning. And then we just have a little farm store. We just got some goodies where you can make cheese boards and some cookbooks and things like that. And then we'll just go, this is the cafe area. I guess you should probably take a look at the whole thing, but we made it like this so people can see the cheese and the gelato being made over here on the right. That's our processing room. And then to the left is the Gouda cheese wheel. So that's our aging room, and it's slowly filling up. We still have a lot of planks to fill up, but it's a beautiful view. And then I think the best part of the creamery, up here above the fireplace, we have Opa and Bedaf, so my dad's dad. Back when he was about my age, he's milking a cow by hand, and you can see he's got his wooden shoes on. So it's always a fun story to tell when people come and ask, hey, who is that? And then you can say, that's my grandpa. So he's a big reason of why this creamery is here today. So he's looking down from heaven, and I'm sure he's super proud of what we've done.
So that's my grandpa Pete. That's who I'm named after. He's kind of the one that started it all for our family, I guess. We'll go quickly into the kitchen here, and then I'll probably take it from there because Maartje's pretty busy.
Well, I want to introduce Tina. So this is Aunt Tina. This is also Casey's relative. So as you can see, it's a family affair over here too, but they farm, they raise beef cattle, and then they also farm some land as well. So now I've snagged her. Now her husband is missing out on some really good lunches, but we get to eat well over here, so. But say hi, Tina. All right, I'll let Pete take it over from here.
Hi everybody, it's a couple days later now. They were just finishing cleaning up in the processing room and asked me to come back when they were done cleaning up. So I just came through that door there from where the kitchen was. I do have Ian with me here today to show you guys these rooms here. So this right here is the cheese vat. So through these big doors here, that's where they come in with the milk tank, and I'll show you that here in a second. But they'll pump the milk over into this cheese vat, and this is also what they use for pasteurizing the milk. So it's got probes and a temp recorder there, and they've got hot and cold water, a plate cooler for warming the jacket that's on the outside of this vat, and then a big agitator which agitates the milk, and they also use that to cut the cheese. And you'll see more of that when they actually are making the cheese. And that's where you hook up a hose down there, right, Ian? So then once they go through the process of making the actual cheese and cutting the curds, they'll pump it over into this table here. They'll drain the whey out of there at this point, and they'll make blocks of cheese. They'll cut them into blocks and put them into these forms that they have here. So they've got these forms. They're in the shape of Gouda wheels, and they'll use this pneumatic press here to press the square blocks into Gouda. So they'll use this pneumatic press to press the square blocks into these forms, and then they make the Gouda shape, which I'll show you here in a second in the aging room. I'll start with the Gouda, and then we'll come back and look at the gelato equipment, and I'll show you that quickly. And then go into this door. This is the aging room. It's cold. You want to wait out here for me? No. Okay. So you want to stand right there? Okay. You come in. So Ian was just saying it's cold in here. So this room is temperature controlled, and it's also humidity controlled. So all of their cheese is stored on these wooden planks, which is a traditional way of storing Gouda cheese. And these on the left here, you can tell that they're a darker color yellow, so they have more wax on them already. So these are their more aged cheese. So this row of cheese here is from July 28th of last year, so it's not quite a year old yet.
I like this cheese. I like this cheese.
You like Gouda cheese?
Yeah.
So when they make the Gouda cheese, they'll bring it over after they have it in the press for I think a couple days, and then they'll put it into this salt bath here, which they call that a brine bath. It'll be in there for I think about a week, and then they'll start waxing the cheese. So it'll look like this, and then every day they'll come, flip it over, wax it, put it back on the planks, and then they'll repeat that daily for I believe a week. So obviously Maartje and Casey, they know a lot more about all of this process, and Casey does a really good job at explaining all of this. So usually when they make cheese, Casey is here, and I'll plan to film that, and then Casey can really explain this in a lot more detail. But that'll be in another video, because otherwise we're gonna have way too long of a video. Ian, are you leaving? Yeah. So through this door is just an equipment room, their hot water heater. Water comes into that room there, just a few other things. So like I said, storing the Gouda cheese on these planks, that's pretty traditional. They have room in here to expand, and they could also go higher, and they'd need a ladder at that point. But they're able to store quite a bit of cheese in this room before they would ever need to expand this room. We'll go look at the gelato equipment here quick, and then yeah, just kind of give you guys the rundown of that. So this is the pasteurizer for the gelato, and they also mix what they call their base in this pasteurizer. So it also has temperature probes, agitator, has the ability to heat and cool, and they have temperature chart up there. So they'll bring the milk in here typically the day before or the evening before they're going to make gelato, and then they'll make their base. They call it their base because that's mainly what they use for all of the gelato, and then they put ingredients in as they make the different flavors. They do, I think they can make a couple different bases, but typically it's all the same base, which is yeah, mainly milk and then some other ingredients that they mix in there. Then it pasteurizes, it sits overnight, and then the next day is when they make the gelato. And they do that with these two machines here. So it's basically a liquid when they put it in these machines, and these machines have refrigeration on them, and they have a specific way of turning the gelato, which is why the gelato is so creamy. And when the gelato comes out, where are you going, Ian? You have to stay with me. So when the gelato comes out of there, it's kind of frozen, but it's still almost like a soft serve ice cream, I guess, at that point. Then they'll put it into one of these two blast freezers, and what that does is it's freezing it as fast as possible, because that helps maintain the consistency and the flavor of the gelato. That's my understanding anyways. Like I said, I'll have them explain it in more detail when they're actually making the product here. And then once it comes out of there, they either put it in large storage containers, which they can scoop out of, or they'll put it into pints, and then they'll store the pints in a regular freezer. In that one, Ian? Yeah. So then they'll store the pints in a regular freezer at that point, and it's ready to be sold. What else, Ian? Anything else? So they've got a couple more chest freezer right there, and this is actually the chiller for the gelato pasteurizer. And then, yeah, some tables that they work on, some other miscellaneous products. Some storage on the shelves here. So this is one of those gelato containers that they have several things that they can put those in to scoop out of. What you saw here when we walked in is one of those. Are you gonna make some gelato? Mm-hmm. So if you guys have questions, we'll answer them as best as we can, and I'm definitely planning to show you guys the gelato making and cheese making process in here, and then Maartje and Casey can explain you guys the process in more detail when they're actually doing it. We thought it'd be good to kind of give you guys an overview of the building here first, so you get an idea of how things are laid out. I should add that they do sell cheese and gelato here off the farm when they're open. And they have a website, which I'll have Taryn put that in the description. And you can go to that website, and they typically have orders once a month. And the way that works is you'll, when the order is open, which it's not always open, so you'll have to watch for that. But when it's open, you place your order, and they deliver to multiple cities in North Dakota. So you would say place your order for Fargo, then there'd be a specific time where they go to Fargo, and you would meet them at a specific location to pick up your product. Like I said, usually they do that once a month, and they go to several cities: Fargo, Grand Forks, Bismarck, Minot, Devil's Lake, Jamestown, Carrington, of course, and a few others, I believe. And they're also available for like weddings. They'll go to farmers markets. If you have graduations, other special events that you would like to have gelato for, they always make it fresh. So the idea behind real gelato is that it's always made fresh. So gelato that you would typically buy in the grocery store, they call it gelato, but gelato really is meant to be eaten fresh. That's when it's the best the best quality, when it tastes the best. And that's what they try to do here. So they always try to make the gelato fresh for when you order it. So if you want it for a specific party or wedding, or even for the pickups that they do, they always make it fresh. It doesn't sit in the freezer for 2 weeks or a month at a time. It's made to order. I think that'll be about it for the video. Ian, are you cleaning up? Ian, putting some things away. That'll be it for this video. I think if you guys have any questions, comments, yeah, we'd love to answer them. And I hope to make some videos over here soon. We're hoping to be in the field soon, but we just got 2 inches of rain here yesterday and today, so I think it'll be a little while yet. So maybe the next video will be gelato or cheese making. We'll see how it goes. But I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Hey, which one do you want? Cookie or chocolate? Chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you a cup.
Okay.
Okay, can you say thank you for watching?
So you're watching. You're watching.
Good job. I should add that the community of Carrington has been very supportive for us, and at the farm and here as well. They've been open a few times here in the cafe parts, and I think maybe 4 or 5 times now at this point, and every time it seems like they've had 400 or 500 people that they've served in this little area. So it's been really amazing to see that. I'm really happy that you guys are supporting them here as much as you've supported us at the dairy, and hopefully their business continues to grow from this point. We'll hopefully we'll make a lot of videos over here, and they've got some exciting things going on in Fargo as well. I'll have them talk about that more in another video, and we'll hopefully make some videos over there when the time comes. Well, yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next video.